Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Sarah's Oil. And this is a new biopic. This is from director Sarah Rector, and who co-wrote this film with Betsy Giffen Rector, and based on Tanya Baldwin's book, Searching for Sarah Rector. And this does star young Desir-Johnson as Sarah Rector. And this is a remarkable true story of an African-American girl born in Oklahoma, Indian Territory in the early 1900s, who believes there is oil beneath the barren land she's allotted and whose faith is proven right. And she winds up teaming up with this snake oil salesman kind of grifter, Bert, played by Zachary Levi. And this film, I think it's shot well. It looks decently well, and it certainly has a more inspiring kind of tone to it. It is faith-based in an earnest and engaging way, not in an overly preachy kind of way. I think Johnny Durango, who is the cinematographer, does a good job of capturing this landscape, because this is really out in Oklahoma, out in the woods and the plains and stuff. And Catherine Bostic's score, I think, is very emotive and really captures the period well. And there's certainly some heavier moments. There's also some fun moments in this film. I think Zachary Levi brings a lot of the humor, but Desir-Johnson also has a few great moments, because she could be a little sass bucket too. And you have these types of elements in this film that come together and tells this inspiring story of this young girl who, believes in her land and being able to make the most of it. But this has some dark, heavy moments. There's a lot of killing and, trigger warning, people shooting at a dog. And it obviously becomes very intense as it explores some of these elements of, a lot of racism and sexism at the time, and not allowing this young woman to, here's this land when they think it's barren, but you have this big oil company who's trying to steal it out from under her and trick her, and Garrett Dillahunt plays the head of this oil company. And this film, it hits a lot of familiar beats. It's not particularly shocking where the twists and turns of the story goes. But there's some inspiring moments. There's some good character work and characters that stand out for sure. But I do feel like a lot of the conflict is, overly simplified and delivers this very black and white kind of perspective to the film, which makes it a little less interesting. But it doesn't pull punches, showing all the dark, nefarious places that white people in power would go at this time to try to take away from people of color, whether it was former slaves or indigenous people, especially in Oklahoma. And this film, has some weight and gravity to it. Not everybody makes it out okay in this story, and brings some real weight to the film for sure. And it just feels like this could have been explored in a deeper, more nuanced way, but takes that approach to being very black and white and very straightforward. It still has the emotion, and it still has the heart, I think, to be an effective film. And Desir-Johnson, I think, is fantastic in this leading role. She's very earnest and believable. Sonequa Martin Green, who plays her mom, is a big standout. She brings a lot of heart to the film. Zachary Levi is charming and fun in the charming and fun moments, but he really, he overacts with his eyes to the point where, he's always looking cartoonish, and whenever it gets, intense or emotional, he just doesn't sell that aspect of the character well, and I think it takes away from the film. Garrett Dillahunt is extremely intense even if his character doesn't have a whole lot of nuance or depth to it, his performance is very intimidating and scary as this evil oil man. Mel Rodriguez, who plays Mace, who's Levi's like partner in crime, I loved him. He was such a great supporting character, supporting player in this story. There's a few standouts from an acting standpoint, and others, they're serviceable and they're doing their job just fine. This film is a really fine film. It's well put together. It has a good heart. It tells a good story, but it really doesn't dig much deeper than that and leaves you probably wanting more out of this type of story. But it still does a really fine job of bringing this story to light, which it grossly deserves for sure. But those are my thoughts on Sarah's Oil. Let me know what you think and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.